Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Midyear Freakout book tag. Okay, so it is that time of year where everyone does this Freakout book tag. Now, this is my first year on BookTube, so this is my first time obviously doing this Freakout book tag. There are questions, I have answers, so without further ado, let's hop, skippity jump right to it. Question number 1. What is the best book you've read so far this year? Just so everyone knows, I can't pick one answer for anything, so I'm going to be giving multiple answers to these questions. Daisy Darker was one of my favorite books that I read so far this year. Hands down, amazing, Agatha Christie type of murder mystery, atmospheric, loved it. Second was, there was a couple Adrienne Young books, and I love Adrienne Young. She's one of my favorite authors. Spells for Forgetting was one of my favorites from her as well as The Sky and the Deep duology from her. I can't choose one. They're all my favorite. I love them. They're fantastic. And I highly recommend that duology, Sky and the Deep duology. It's Viking, a YA Viking-inspired story. And Spells for Forgetting was her like a new adult debut. And it's kind of like a mashup of genres. She did a fantastic, amazing job. Question number 2. What is the best sequel that you have read? So actually the best sequel would be The Girl the Sea Gave Back, which is book number 2 in the Sky and the Deep duology. I love this cover. I love our characters. I love how somber the story is, the atmosphere, the tone. Solid. Question number 3. What is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? So I just posted my most anticipated releases for the first half, and I just posted my second half of the year video for anticipated releases. And I have a lot of anticipated releases. I will link those 2 videos down below in the description box in case you have missed them. Please go check them out. In each video, I have over 30. I go through a lot. There are a lot of them, and a lot that a lot of people have never heard of before. So I guarantee that out of all the new releases coming out this year or have already come out, you are gonna find plenty to choose from, plenty more to add to your TBR. So for the second half of the year, I have a couple like really anticipated releases that I want to just immediately grab right away. One would be 2 from Adrienne Young, of course. Drift would be one. We're following the story of Willa, who is one of the characters from the Fable duology, so The World of the Narrows and the Unnamed Sea. And The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young, that is going to be a whole new story, a whole new world that she is creating. I'm really excited to get into it. And also Vengeance of the Pirate Queen by Trisha Levenseller. Again, the first time I heard about this, I was surprised. I did not know that we were going to get a companion, but the fact that I'm going to have Alosa in my life again, our main character from Daughter of the Pirate King. Yeah, I'm anticipating this one for sure. Question number 4. What is your biggest disappointment so far this year? This was kind of a toughie because I've had several disappointments, but I would say the biggest one would be The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. It was not marketed correctly. The premise that you read on the back of the book or on Goodreads does not really match to how the story was written or what is actually happening in the story. And because of that, it was a letdown. It was a huge disappointment. I obviously didn't DNF this. I read this book and I gave it 3 stars because there were parts of it I did enjoy. Whole thing as a whole, I was disappointed in because it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be, and I was really hyping it up in my head to be a 5-star prediction, and it was not. So I would say this one is my biggest disappointment of the year so far. Question number 5. What has been your biggest surprise? I actually have 2 that surprised me. The first one was Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This one was a surprise to me, and Serena, my best friend, kind of brought this on my radar because she was reading it, and I looked at the synopsis and I was like, something was telling me to jump in and buddy read with her. A lot of the content in this is not something I would usually read. I don't read a lot of like mythology type stories, and some parts of the magic system in this wasn't exactly what I was into, with like magic system involving teeth and different things like that, and I'm usually not into that type of thing. I really liked it. I was really surprised. It was a 5-star read for me. Yeah, it was fantastic. Loved it. Super surprised. My second surprise was All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. I had a really good time with this. Again, super surprised by it because there were aspects in this that, just reading the premise, I'm not really drawn to like the magic system that it was suggesting, and it wasn't what the premise was making it out to be. It was different, so it actually really surprised me because of that, and I had a really good time. So yes, solid. Super surprised by both of these. Question number 6. What is one of your favorite new to you authors so far this year? I would say Sarah Korn. She's an indie author, and Of Honey and Wildfires is the first book that I had heard about. I'm actually in the middle of reading that right now. Her writing is so emotionally, thematically rich, and she'll make you feel. You immediately get into the story, you feel for the characters, everything is, it's like emotionally driven, you feel it. I want to read her newest release, The Necessity of Rain. Yeah, I would say she is one of my new favorite authors, 100%. Question number 7, who is your fictional crush? My fictional crush is not new. He has been my fictional crush for quite some time, and that would be Walter Longmire from the TV series Longmire. Now, Longmire is based off of the Longmire novels. It's a detective mystery series set in the West, like Wyoming is the setting. And Walter Longmire is the sheriff. Now, he is an old crush. He will forever be my fictional crush. My new fictional crush, his name is Zach, and Zach also happens to be in the Longmire TV series as well. The reason Zach is a crush for me is because, y'all hear the thunder? It's storming here. Zach is a new fictional crush for me because I just rewatched the Longmire series for the first time in a couple years, and when I saw Zach, I was like, all right. He's definitely on my crush list for sure. He's basically a younger version of Walt Longmire. He is the younger version of him with a twist, because Zach happens to have a, I don't know if it's like a mental disability, like a type of learning mental disability where it actually makes him a better detective. It makes him such an amazing person. First off, his struggles are real. His maturity, his even keel calmness. He has a calm about him. Like, I think he would become even a better version of Longmire when he would reach Walt's age. You know, because Walt is midlife and Zach is, you know, around 30. So yeah, Zach is amazing. He's amazing. He does Tai Chi too. Like, it doesn't show him doing Tai Chi in the show. There isn't the episode at the end of this episode where Walt is asking him certain questions, and Zach's answers to his questions are fantastic. They're fantastic. It's like a test. It's like a final test, and his answers, I just fell in love. I fell in love with him immediately. So Walt Longmire and Zach, from the Longmire series. Both of them are my fictional crushes. Question number 8, who is your new favorite character? So my newest favorite character would be Zuzana. Zuzana is from the story Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. She is hilarious. She is such a good time. She is a loyal friend. Loyal, funny. She's just like this cute little person. She is everything. She is sweet and everything, and she is so worthy to be added to my favorite characters list. I love her. Question number 9, what is a book that made you cry? Okay, so I was looking at my list of all the books that I've read this year, because I believe I've read around 60. I think I've hit the 60 or 61 mark. I believe out of those I have 3 books have made me cry so far. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I just finished this one actually, and the ending made me, I mean, it got me. There's some really tragic things that happen in the story, and at the very end, like I had some tears throughout the story when the tragedy, like the tragic event starts to unfold, but the very end made me just cry. Second book that made me cry would be Daisy Darker. Daisy Darker, obviously one of my favorites of all time, made me cry 100%. There's some tragic things that happen with our main character in this story. Daisy is one of the sweetest characters I have ever come across. She is so sweet. I love her. You can't not love her. She is the sweetest. And awful things happen to her. And all of the twists start coming out in this story. It'll hit you. It made me cry. I was weeping. Yeah. The third book that made me cry is Of Honey and Wildfires by Sarah Corn. Now, I'm actually in the middle of reading this book right now. I have not finished yet, but yeah, I had some tears. Some tears were coming. I mean, like, I'm almost at the halfway point, and I am like anticipating the ending to really hit me in the heart. By the end, I'm expecting to fully sob. Question number 10, what is a book that made you happy? Book that made me happy would be All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace that I mentioned before. There are quite a number of magic systems in this story. In the beginning, when this story opens up, it really is detailed in how the author explains the different, like the world that you're in, and I want it to be there. And it made me happy just escaping into the details, into the moment. I could feel it. I could feel the colors. I could see in my mind's eye the beauty, the magnificence, the fun, the peace, just the solace that the descriptions and the details and the explanations that were being given to me of what this world looked like. I want it to be there. I want it to go there immediately, and that is what made me happy when I read this book. Question number 11, what is your favorite book to film adaptation? Actually, I have 2 for this. Again, Longmire. Because Longmire is based on the novels, it is a book to film adaptation, and I have not read the Longmire novels, and one of the reasons is because I believe that they're more like explicit and graphic, and I don't read explicit and graphic things. Also, I believe that our characters are completely different in the books as opposed to the film, and I'm in love with the TV series, so I kind of, even if the novels weren't explicit and graphic, if the characters are different, I'm not gonna like it, because I am in love, clearly, with Walt Longmire and all of the characters in the TV series. So I wouldn't want that to change. Even though I have not read the books, everything that I know about the books, I would say the book to film adaptation, I would say the film adaptation is better for me for this one. The Count of Monte Cristo. Now, I read The Count of Monte Cristo years ago when I was a teenager. I remember loving it. I remember it being a huge book. And I also remember it being so different from the movie. I believe the endings are different, but I loved them both. I love the movie. Even though it's different from the book, the movie is fantastic. I saw that movie when I was a kid, and it's fantastic. It's still one of my all-time favorites. So The Count of Monte Cristo is one of my favorite book to film adaptations, 100%. Question number 12, what is your favorite video that you have posted so far this year? Two things. One that I've already posted, one of my favorites would be the My Favorite Things tag. I really enjoyed making that video and sharing that with everybody of just a lot of my favorite things. It was really fun to make. I really enjoyed it. And I will also link that down in the description box down below. Go check that out. My second would be, I haven't posted it yet, but I kind of filmed the beginning part of it. Birthday book haul and unboxing video. So stay tuned for that. That is going to be coming out by the end of the month. I just really enjoyed making even the first half of that video so far. I really enjoyed it. And Serena, my best friend, sent me my birthday unboxing part of that video, and I really had a good time unboxing everything, unwrapping everything, and showing my reactions on camera. That's definitely going to be one of my favorites as well. Question number 13. What is the most beautiful book that you have purchased or that you own as of now? So a lot of people have special editions, and they are gorgeous and beautiful, and a lot of people pick which special edition is their favorite, that they think is the most gorgeous. Well, I don't have any special editions. However, I am gonna say that I have a couple books that I think are just beautiful. Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. Now, I love this cover because it looks like it's glowing. Can't see because of the glare, but the gold and like the sparkles on it, it looks like it glows. When light hits this, it seriously looks like it's glowing. It's gorgeous. And I have not read this yet. I haven't read this yet. And if I don't like it, I'm not going to get rid of it because I love the cover too much. And even the spine. The gold and the blue and the white and how it looks like it's glowing. This is gorgeous. I love it. Also, I have small favors. Now, this is a YA thriller, soft horror-esque mystery type story. And the cover is misleading. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, okay? You have the flowers and the bees and the honey. Oh, when this first came out, I immediately loved the cover. I was like, oh my God, I just want it because of the cover. Like, if this ever came in a special edition, I would love to just see someone do a special edition of this. And if that exists, let me know. But I don't know if a special edition of this exists. If it does, I would love to see it. I am very curious what they would do. I think a special edition would make this, it would be phenomenal. Like a Fairy Loot, if Fairy Loot did a special edition of this, it would be amazing. And the last one would be The Girl the Sea Gave Back. And I would love a special edition of this. I would love to see someone do a special edition of this. It's gorgeous the way it is. Just the colors. I love it. I love it. It's perfect to me. Question number 14. What are some new releases that you haven't read but are prioritizing or at the top of your list? I have several. But if I'm gonna say one, I have to make myself pick one because I have a lot. I have a lot of releases. Like I said, I just posted my anticipated releases for the second half of the year and the first half of the year, and there are a lot that I really want to get to. I'm gonna say The Necessity of Rain by Sarah Korn because she's one of my new favorite authors. Esme Roslin wrote an amazing review for this story, and after I read her review, it made me want the story even more in my hot little hands. Like, gimme, 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 gimme. I need it, I want it, yes. I'm gonna say The Necessity of Rain by Sarah Korn is the one that I am prioritizing the most. And the last question, question number 15. What is a book that you need to read by the end of the year? I'm gonna say The Skin by J.E. Hannaford. Now, J.E. Hannaford is an indie author, and I believe that she is in one of the discords that I'm in, and after I read this, I'm going to reach out to her and tell her what I think. Hopefully, I love this. This would be my first Selkie story that I've ever read. I did not know about Selkies. Serena told me. I asked her because I obviously knew about sirens and mermaids, and I was like, is a Selkie like a siren? What is this mythological Selkie myth thing? I'm not in the know about Selkies. And when she told me what Selkies were, I was like, I want to read a story about a Selkie. A lot of women in particular, I have found, kind of relate or inspired by Selkie stories to leave a bad situation or to find strength in a bad situation. This is the first Selkie story that I came across that I am really intrigued by and I really want to jump into. I immediately want to jump into this one. Like, I don't want to wait anymore. I kind of am really excited by it, and I really want to know the whole story behind Selkies. Okay, so that is the end of this Freakout tag, and I'm not freaking out about it. It's a really chill, laid-back tag. I'm not freaking out about anything. Comment down below and let me know what some of your answers are to these questions, and if you are a booktuber and you have done this tag, let me know so I can check out your video if I haven't done so already. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up and be sure to smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming new content. As always, I will see you in the next one. Cheers.